Hey, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be going over the recipe of making a delicious chicken and dumpling soup. This soup is going to be great to make when it's cold, snowy, definitely a fall season food. As you can see today, it's been a very dreary, rainy day, so that's what we're going to make today. To start everything off, I'm going to start off with the dumplings. We're going to start off with 3 cups of flour, a tablespoon of baking powder, 1 egg, 3 tablespoons of sugar. We have, ideally, if you do this, you can use it with buttermilk, but we have a cup of whole milk. And we're gonna be putting a half a tablespoon of some rosemary. I have a stem here, so I'll show you guys how to get the flake off of it. And for our chickens, the chicken soup in a whole, we have 6 cups of chicken broth, which we're gonna boil our chicken in. We have 2, 4, 5 carrots. We have 4 celery sticks, 2 onions, and a cup of water to that. And I almost forgot, for our delicious dumplings, we're gonna be putting a cap full of distilled white vinegar in. So to get started, we're gonna come over here and get our pot on, get that on high, and we're gonna add in our chicken broth. Remember, this is 6 cups. I'm gonna turn this. And then I like to add a cup of water in there as well. This pot is kind of too big, so we will get that fixed. So while that is boiling, we're gonna sit this to the side and get started on our Holy Trinity. We want to start off with our carrots, which you want to get them skinned. As you can see, they're already skinned. Just want to come over here to the sink and rinse these off. And then, so where you have the chicken base, chicken broth, stick these in here while you cut them. Now you can cut these to however big you would want, or small. Usually when we get to about the A size, we're gonna turn it, cut this off, cut her in half, and continue on with the cutting, just like so. Put these to the side. Grab me a bowl. Definitely want to forget what this thing is called. So, butcher block, scooper. So, it's the same thing with the rest. And cut the tips off. Road runner. So I'm gonna get to cutting the onions, so you guys don't have to watch me cutting this whole thing. But the onion, this is how I cut mine. I cut mine in half, and you will have a little stem here on the bottom. Usually just come to at a 45, cut that out, just go down. These don't have to be cut perfectly or anything like that, just so because they will render down in the soup. So once that's done, tip my knees up, go to the sides. I know my knife skills are not the best, but with patience comes great success, and which I have. You guys, I need my other bowl. And so, quick little example for the onions and for the celery sticks. Usually cut these off. If you see any imperfections like so, just cut them out. Don't ever cut towards yourself, people. You're cutting your hand off. So, these, I'll just leave them whole. I never put this part into the soup. So I'm gonna get these all cut up, and once this is done, we'll get moved on to the next part. All right, now that everything's cut, we're gonna get these stir fried or stirred into our pan. I have a different pot here because this one's just a little bit too wide for me. So this here. So we're gonna get this pot turned on, and I can put about a half a stick of butter in here. Get this all melted down. And once this gets started, just like so. I like to start with my carrots first, since they take somewhat the longest to render down. Get that going. A stick of butter doesn't have to be fully melted, but yeah. So while we're starting that, we can put our chicken into our boiling broth. This is 3 pounds of chicken. Veggies taking off. Now in my case, this broth looks a little low, so I'll put probably another 2 cups in. Just keep note that this will render down and evaporate. It's about 2 cups. Back into the beef evaporates here. So since I started, we can add our celery in. And add our onion. Stir up until everything becomes a little bit translucent. Now, to add a little bit more flavors to this, we're going to be adding about a half a teaspoon of mushroom base from Better Than Bouillon and a tablespoon of roasted chicken to our vegetables here. Tablespoon. And a lid cap in there. Half a tablespoon of mushroom. Just like so. Put these up off to the side. Get this stirred in. So you want this to be cooking on this top for roughly 5 to 7 minutes. You don't need to really worry about adding salt because it's Better Than Bouillon base has a good deal of sodium in it. That should go with the low sodium brand. But like with salt, you know, it's best to add some later on because you can always put more, but you can't take more out. Get this started. So while these are rendering down, this chicken should be boiling. This chicken's gonna be in here for about 35 to 45 minutes. Once this starts and this is completed, we're gonna take this and add this into this pot with this chicken so everything can get softened for the main soup. We're losing things. That makes me. This soup is gonna be packed with flavor, y'all. Down it. We're gonna make this for your lady, your grandma and mama. they're gonna be questioning. All right. So I'm gonna let this render down, and I'll get back with y'all when this is complete. All right. Now that all of the vegetables are cooked down, you want to have them to look at least to this part here, the onions at least. We're gonna add these in to our chicken, and for that, you want to use a ladle. Can't forget hot water. Just gonna add these in without losing all of it. Just like so. You guys can smell this kitchen. You don't have to be watering. Now that is in there. Use your rubber spatula to get all that goodness out of here and into the soup pot. So, set that over there. So, I have this rosemary here. We're going to be putting this in, but I'll show you guys how to separate this. You just grab it by its top. Stem right here, and just pull down. And that is how you separate all the rosemary. And I'll take this, take your knife, just dice it up, small pieces. We're gonna be putting rosemary into the soup and into the dumplings. Have a nice aromatic flavor to the whole diaphragm of this dish. So take that. This is how it's supposed to look. Just like so. Take this. Put it right on there. Take your spatula and mix everything together. And also make sure nothing is sitting at the bottom of the pot. As you burn anything on the bottom of this will completely tarnish this whole dish. So now, while this is cooking, we're going to be getting started onto our dumplings, which is a lot easier than it may seem. I'm going to get my cooking area a little cleaned up and all these dirty dishes put away. Then we're going to get started on that. It'll also give some time for this to get cooking, because once the dumplings are done, we're going to be having a little dumpling pod. We're going to put a little dough helmet on it so it can firm up, or not even firm up, just become one with itself, and be breaking them off and putting them into the soup. So once I get to that, we'll be back. All right, now that the chicken is almost done, chicken should be done in about 6 minutes, we're going to get started on our dumplings. So first we're going to add 3 tablespoons of sugar, add that in. We'll add our tablespoon of baking powder, and I'm going to add in a tablespoon of chopped rosemary. Like that. I'm going to add about a teaspoon of thyme, like so. And we're going to give that a mix. Oops, and I almost forgot. I'm going to add about a teaspoon of salt, like so. Mix that in there. And make sure this is mixed in pretty good. You can add some pepper in there as well. A little cake cooked pepper tastes wonderful. Alright. So now that this is all mixed up, take your rubber spatula and we're gonna make a little hole right here. All right. You're gonna take your egg and crack that in there. Mix that in. Oop. Then we're gonna mix that egg inside of this mixture. And there was a step that I missed already. we can get this in here before I go any much further. Is that I'm gonna add in half a stick of butter, shredded. You want to add this in before you add any of the wet ingredients. Just mix it in a lot better. So just a half a stick, y'all. Grind it in. If you want to add a whole stick, you can. In my experience, when you add a whole stick, the dumplings tend to fall apart a little bit easier. A lot easier in the heat. The butter, the flour ratio. Not the same. Is about half? Yeah. So you give this a quick stir. After that, I'm gonna add 1 cup of whole milk or buttermilk if you have it. Into that whole, I'm adding a cap full of white vinegar. That's it. So once that is stirred, you want to take your rubber spatula and just fold this over. You don't want to beat this too much, because if you do, you activate the gluten in the flour, which make the dumpling extremely firm. So get that mixed up pretty thoroughly. Just like that. This is gonna want to look shaggy. So where's that parsley at? That's what I'm missing. I also forgot, I'm gonna add some parsley in, about a tablespoon. Just give some color. Get that mixed in as well. So now that this is all mixed in, you're gonna wanna get the rest of this off your rubber spatula. So flip this out onto your cutting board or table or what have you. And we're gonna want to knead this about 20 seconds. 20 seconds, 10 times, just to get everything really mixed in. Turn it on. See, it's quite shaggy. That's how you want it. I don't want it to be too wet, because this will fall apart when it gets in that boiling water. So. Alright, that should be enough. Grab your bowl. You have some messy hands, but set that back in there. Clean your fingers off. While your hands are dirty, take your spatula and just scrape the rest of this off the cutting board. Put that in there. So once that is done, in reality, you could have just left it on there and put the lid on it, but you're just gonna flip it over and let that sit like that to get your hands all washed up. And the next step, I'll be showing you how to get all the chicken off the bones and how we're gonna get it shredded. We're gonna be using my stand mixer. If you don't have a stand mixer, you can use 2 forks, or if you got bear claws, you can use that as well. But for today, we're gonna be using the stand mixer. Real simple and real easy. So once I get cleaned up, I'll just hop on that. All right, now that the chicken is done, as you can see, I pulled it out of the pot. All you do is take some tongs pull it out and get it into a different bowl. So you want to take your tongs and a fork and just, you could wait until this, like I would advise, you could wait until this cools down, but we're wanting against the toddler sleeping. So you just want to rip it off and get it into your pot for wherever your standing mixer is going to be. And like I said, if you don't have a standing mixer, you can take this apart with 2 forks, like so. So it's literally just getting in there separate and just pulling it apart like so. Which may be easier to take apart anyway like that. But for my chicken soup, I like my chicken to be nice and chopped up. So and that blender does it for me really well. So we're gonna get these all deboned, and once this is done, we're gonna get these onto the blender. Then we're gonna take this chicken when it's all cut up and put it into this pot. And then once this starts, we're gonna put this back up to another boil and then down to a simmer again. And that's when we're gonna start making the dumplings and putting the dumplings in. And once we do that, we're talking about maybe 10 to 15 minutes, folks, for the whole dish to be completed. And it's gonna be easy as that. So I'm gonna get working on these so you guys don't have to watch me do this whole thing. And once I'm done, we'll be back on this screen to get finished with this whole process. Now that we got all the chicken all deboned and cleaned up, I'm gonna bring this over here. Next to our mixer. Get this dropped in. Now all we gotta do is turn it on and probably put it on 2 to 3 for a few seconds. You can spin this as much as you want. Just like that. Got shredded chicken. See, nicely shredded. Now we're going to slowly incorporate this back into the mix. Careful not to splash yourself. All that goodness out of there. Now you're going to turn the heat back up. Give this a nice stir. Get it incorporated. Now what I like to do at this point is get some heavy cream. I'm gonna put this heavy cream in. It's probably about 3/4 of a cup. So that's probably about 1/4 in here. So you want to do like a 1/4 box of heavy cream, 1/4 to a 1/2 box. Get that stirred. And we'll put a 1/2 stick of butter in there, which, so right now this one's already cut, so we'll cut it from this back side here, roughly right here. We'll drop that in. While this starts to get it back to a boil, this will be the time where you want to season your soup before you add the dumplings in. So if it needs any more salt, pepper, sugar, I like to add a little onion powder to mine, maybe a little more thyme and some salt. But we're about to get popping on to our delicious, wonderful dumplings. So once this gets to a boil, we're gonna end up incorporating these into the pot so they can get cooked. And once these are in, this bad boy's ready to eat. And trust me, I've been wanting this all week. I can't wait for it to get finished. So let this boil up and let this butter melt, and then we're gonna get into this. All right, Now that the soup is done, everything's shredded. Come take a look at this first off. Look at this period here, people. This is called, I need to get my flash. This is called pure goodness. Yes. But yeah, let's get to these dumplings. So, with these dumplings, you're going to take, I use a tablespoon stick. You can use a regular tablespoon or whatever. I like using this. But you want to take some olive oil and just drop a little in there and coat the top section of this thing. So basically, none of this dough gets stuck to this. So you just want to come in, grab some, like so. Now, keep in mind, the bigger you make these, so this size here will become this size. So the smaller you make them, the more noble size. If you make a big piece, you know, something like this size, it will grow to be big. So just take note of that. All you do is just drop them in your soup. Take this one. You can add small ones in there. I like to add little slithers, like let me show you. So something like this here. The small stuff like this will break apart in the soup and it'll make it nice and thick. And you got that flour, you got the sugar and all the nice little aromatics in there that will melt into the soup. That just, man, look, you're gonna have to try it out for yourself. All I can do is tell you, but you know me. You can tell by my weight, my body mass. You know I had some, and it was delicious. So want to do this as much as you can. I like to make a lot. You don't have to make this much. You could definitely just do 2 cups and do 2 tablespoons of sugar and half a tablespoon of baking powder, and it'll be about half the size. But I definitely like to eat a lot of dumplings. So does my lady, and we make them a lot. So, like I said, man, this is a 30-minute dish, like 30 minutes. For you ladies out there that like to cook, hey, look, you get off of work and excuse me, you want to make sure this is actually on high. Because you be messing around, eat some uncooked dough. But yeah, get home, take 30 minutes. 30 minutes. Trust me. Neighbors, the dogs, the cats, the squirrels, and the possums will be at your door smelling this. It's wonderful. Hey, baby, come here. And show them that. Look at that. It's beautiful. All you do is you drop them in. Now, when this is boiling, you just want to be careful how you move them because they can fall apart. It's just because there is butter mixed into this, so be careful moving them because some of them will fall apart. Like I said, the pieces that fall apart, like this little thing right here, you just put that in there, dissolves, gets incorporated into the soup. But anywhere you go, so once this is all in here, let this cook down for maybe 5-7 minutes, maybe 10. Drop it lower, put it on 10. As soon as these are done, you're ready to serve up. Man. Hey, for you fellas out there, for the first date night in the house, highly recommend. Sweep them off their feet before they even find out. Hey, look at that. Yes, sir. You see them little squats like that one just fell apart there, but that's all right. Let them do their thing, and by the time you're done with this, you got maybe 3 minutes. Everything will be good. I like to let mine cook when I'm done with my dumplings, just for another 10 to 15 minutes on low, and I like to let it cool down a little bit before I serve. So yeah, and that's it. Once I get these are all cooked and everything is done, we'll be back. Have this thing plated up and show you what perfection looks like. So, hey, we all done. I had to change pots because that boy wasn't big enough. But this is an added tip. If you want to, you can. If not, it's perfectly fine. But you can add some whole kernel corn into this, which will, with the juice, so you want to keep the juice. It's going to add a lot of flavor. It's going to have a nice corn hint to it. So, as you can see, the dumplings definitely fluffined up. And they on the home stretch of being done, baby. So let's get that. Yeah, and if it gets too dry, not even dry, if all the moisture kind of evaporates, you can add some more. I had to do it here. Add a couple, like 2 more cups of broth and a cup of heavy cream. That will kind of even out the playing field. But that's about it. We can get this plated up. Let's see how we looking. That corn will also cook along with this. That's what I'm saying. If you add any more salt, pepper, it's completely fine. Right. This is a runny soup. If you want it to be more thick, you can get yourself some this food got me losing my thoughts. Hey. Cornstarch. You can get yourself some cornstarch. Do 3 tablespoons of cornstarch and 3 tablespoons of water. Mix it up. You can incorporate that in and it'll snap it right up. Trust me. So let's find this. It's a nice little taste test. Like I said, this is watery. You know, if you want it a little bit more thicker, just add that cornstarch in here. Hey, look. Let's try this. Get a nice little chicken broth corn. With a carrot on there. Fat man's paradise. I'm trying to tell you. One from 4. I won't fail you. If you follow it, you'll come out on top. Hey, thank you for watching. I appreciate you guys watching my channel, supporting me. Do me a favor. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, and hey, put underneath what do you guys want to see next. I got a lot more coming. Just doing some of the easiest things that I know. So let me hear what you want, and I'm going to do it. Hey, thank you.